Have you ever felt invisible when you speak? Maybe your words drift into the background, lost in the noise, while others capture attention without even trying. You watch as some people walk into a room and command it, their voice alone pulling everyone in. What makes them so different? What is their secret? Carl Jung, one of history's most influential psychologists, believed that the way we speak reveals far more than we realize. It's not just about volume, vocabulary, or even confidence. It's about tapping into the deep layers of what makes us human: connection, authenticity, presence, and something Jung called the energy of the self. And when you do, people can't help but listen. If you stick with this entire series, you'll learn not only what makes certain voices magnetic, but how you can unlock the same power inside yourself. No matter who you are, what you sound like, or how shy you feel today. Because the ability to speak, so people can't resist listening, isn't just a gift. It's a skill anyone can learn. Let's start with a simple truth. Most people are not really listened to. They talk, they explain, they hope to be heard. But deep down, they sense that their words rarely land. If you've ever had someone nod absent-mindedly, glance at their phone, or interrupt before you've even finished, you know this feeling. Why does this happen? Carl Jung believed that, for most, the world is a stage where people play roles instead of showing up as their true selves. We perform. We hide. We try to say what we think others want to hear. The result? Our words lose power. People sense when someone isn't fully present, or when their words are a mask instead of a mirror. Real influence, Jung said, begins with inner authenticity. It's not about impressing, but about expressing, saying what's real, in a way that's deeply felt by both you and your listener. Before you even say a word, your presence enters the room. Jung called this psychic energy, the invisible signal you send, shaped by your thoughts, emotions, and sense of self. Have you noticed how some people seem to fill a space? They don't need to shout or show off. Their presence is felt. This is not magic or charisma reserved for the lucky few. It's about being here, not stuck in your head, not distracted by self-doubt, not trying to perform. Presence means you are grounded. You are connected to your own thoughts and feelings. When you speak from this place, your words have weight. Listeners sense it, even if they can't explain why. Exercise. Before your next conversation, pause for just 30 seconds. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? Even a moment of honest self-connection will make your voice more compelling. Carl Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." When you speak from your own truth, not what you think others want to hear, people sense the difference immediately. Authenticity is rare, and in a world full of scripts and small talk, it's magnetic. Authentic speakers don't just share opinions, they reveal what matters to them. They use stories from their real life, express their emotions, and aren't afraid of vulnerability. Think of the last time someone spoke from the heart. You probably remember not just their words, but how they made you feel. Practical step. The next time you speak, try this. Instead of planning what you should say, ask yourself, what do I really think? What do I actually feel? Practice saying it, even if it feels risky. You'll be surprised how much more attention you attract. It sounds backwards, but it's true. Those who speak so others want to listen are almost always great listeners first. Jung believed every conversation is a meeting of two worlds. The best communicators don't just broadcast their own message. They tune into the emotional frequency of the room. This means you notice more than just words. You watch body language, sense mood, hear what isn't being said. When people feel you get them, they want to get you too. Quick practice. In your next conversation, focus all your attention on the other person. Repeat their words in your mind. Notice the emotions behind them. When you respond, you'll naturally speak in a way that lands deeper. Jung wrote often about the intentionality of the psyche, the power of clear purpose. When you speak just to fill silence or to be liked, your words scatter. But when you speak with intention, with a reason that matters, your words gather force. Ask yourself, why am I saying this? What do I hope the listener feels, learns, or does? The most unforgettable speakers are guided by a strong inner compass. Whether they want to inspire, warn, comfort, or challenge, they know why they're speaking. This clarity travels through every sentence and makes their message stick. So many people believe that to be listened to, you have to sound perfect or invulnerable. Jung disagreed. He believed that what is most personal is most universal. When you risk sharing your struggles, doubts, or fears, you create connection on a deep, human level. People lower their defenses. They lean in. Think about TED Talks, viral speeches, or the stories you remember for years. They're almost always delivered by people willing to share not just their knowledge, but their humanity. You don't need to overshare or become emotional on cue. Just let your real self show, even a little bit more than usual. Jung's most famous idea is the shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves we try to ignore or suppress. Many people's voices are blocked by this shadow. The fear of being judged, the belief they're not good enough, the memories of being ignored or silenced in the past. If you want to speak so people can't resist listening, you have to befriend your shadow. Notice the fears and doubts that silence you. Bring them into the light. The more you accept every part of yourself, even the awkward, shy, or unsure parts, the stronger your voice becomes. Once Jung told a story about a young woman who came to him unable to speak above a whisper in public. She wanted so badly to be heard, but her voice always failed. Through their sessions, she discovered that her silence was a shield, protection from childhood criticism. Only when she acknowledged this hidden pain could she begin to heal. As she owned her story, her voice grew stronger, not just in volume, but in presence. People around her noticed. They started listening, not because she was louder, but because she was finally herself. There's a myth that you have to be extroverted or dominant to capture attention. Jung's work and decades of research show this is false. Quiet people can be captivating if they speak with presence and truth. Think of the soft-spoken teacher you never forgot, the friend whose words always sink in, or the speaker who draws you in with calm intensity. Volume is less important than resonance. Resonance comes from authenticity, clarity, and inner conviction. When you speak from your core, even softly, people notice. The goal isn't to overpower the room, but to invite people closer. One secret of powerful speakers: they pause. A pause gives your words time to land. It builds anticipation. It shows you're not afraid of silence. Jung believed that the unconscious mind fills silence with meaning. When you pause, you invite your listeners to reflect, to feel, to lean in. Try this in your next conversation. After an important point, just pause. Count to 3 in your mind. Watch how people lean in. The pause makes your message memorable. If you're still with me, you're already different from most people. You don't just want to talk, you want to connect, to influence, to make your words matter. In the next part, we'll dive even deeper. You'll learn how to shape your message so it fits any listener, how to use body language for maximum impact, and how to unlock Carl Jung's secret for irresistible storytelling, so you can speak in a way that people remember forever. Keep watching, and let's unlock your voice together. Think about the last time someone truly captivated you. It wasn't just their words. It was the way their story wrapped around your mind, made you feel seen, or changed how you saw the world. This is the real secret. When you speak so that people can't resist listening, you're not just talking. You're inviting your listener into a shared experience. Carl Jung believed that every person sees the world through their own lens, shaped by their experiences, values, and fears. To reach them, you have to meet them where they are, then gently guide them somewhere new. Jung taught that when people feel seen, they open up. One powerful way to do this is with mirroring. This doesn't mean copying someone, but reflecting back what you hear and sense. When you echo a listener's emotions or ideas, it sounds like you're feeling, "I can see why that matters to you." You make them feel understood. The more someone feels understood, the more they want to understand you in return. Try this. In your next conversation, listen for the emotion behind the words. Then reflect it back in your response. You'll notice people instantly pay more attention, relax, and open up to your message. Jung knew the power of stories. He called them archetypes, the patterns that live in every culture and every heart. Stories are how we remember, how we make sense of life, and how we connect. When you speak with stories, you bypass logic and reach the heart. But you don't need to be a novelist. Just share real moments, times you struggled, made a mistake, learned a lesson, or changed your mind. A good story has 3 parts. 1. A challenge or problem. 2. The struggle to overcome it. 3. The insight or change at the end. Even a short, honest story can make people lean in and remember you. Example: I used to be terrified of speaking up in meetings. I worried everyone would judge me. One day, I finally shared an idea, and people loved it. I realized my fear was just a story I'd been telling myself. Jung believed the unconscious speaks through more than just words. It uses body language, tone, and energy. If you want to speak so people can't resist listening, learn to read these signals. Are people making eye contact, leaning in? Are their arms crossed, or are they nodding? If you sense distance or distraction, pause and ask a question. Does that make sense? Or, what do you think? Brings listeners back. You can also use your own body language for connection. Open posture, don't fold your arms. Eye contact, but not staring. Lean in slightly to show interest. Smile when it feels real. Small changes make a big difference in how your words are received. Jung's work shows that not everyone thinks or feels the same way. Some people connect through logic and facts, others through feelings, images, or action. If you want to reach more people, learn to shape your message for the listener. With logical people, use because. Research shows, here's the evidence. With emotional people, use imagine how it feels. Picture this. This changed me. With action-driven people, say, here's what you can do right now, or take this step. When you flex your message, you show respect for the other person's perspective. That makes them much more likely to listen, remember, and act. A statement ends a conversation. A question opens one. The best speakers use questions to engage, spark curiosity, and draw people deeper. Jung believed questions are the key to self-discovery. They make listeners pause and reflect, even if only for a moment. Examples. Have you ever felt invisible, even when you spoke the truth? What would you say if you knew everyone would listen? What stops you from sharing your real opinion? Good questions are like open doors. They invite people to step into the conversation and stay for the journey. In a world of endless noise, silence is powerful. Don't rush to fill every gap. Sometimes the most important moments come right after you've spoken, when you let your words sink in. A pause gives people time to think, feel, and respond. It shows you're confident in your message and respect their process. Practice saying something meaningful, then waiting a few seconds. You'll be surprised how often someone fills the silence with their own thoughts, questions, or emotions, and how much deeper your conversation goes. Let's go deeper. The greatest connection happens not when you impress, but when you relate. Carl Jung believed the shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves, often holds the very stories and strengths we're afraid to show. When you risk sharing a struggle, a doubt, or even a small failure, you invite others to let down their guard. People crave realness. They remember it. Vulnerability is the bridge from I heard you to I felt you. Try saying, I don't have all the answers, but here's what I've learned. Or, I used to think X, but I was wrong. You don't have to be perfect, just honest. That's unforgettable. Have you ever listened to someone talk only about themselves? Did you tune out after a minute? The best speakers make the listener the hero of the story. Jung would say, the more you shine a light on others, their hopes, fears, questions, the more you draw them in. Instead of, here's what I did, try, here's what you can do, or, maybe you've felt this way too. Even a simple shift, this could help you, puts the focus on the listener, making your words more relevant and irresistible. Want to know if you're speaking so people can't resist listening? See if they echo your words later. Jung noticed that truly powerful ideas get repeated, retold, and passed on. Simple, memorable phrases stick in people's minds. So use language that's clear, visual, and easy to recall. Examples: don't talk just to be heard, talk to be remembered. Your story is your superpower. Questions create connection. When you speak this way, you become part of someone's inner world. That's influence, Confidence isn't about never feeling nervous. It's about showing up again and again and learning from each experience. Jung saw growth as a journey, not a destination. The more you practice these skills, presence, authenticity, listening, storytelling, the stronger your voice becomes. Start small. Speak up once today, even if it's uncomfortable. Try a story instead of just facts. Ask a question to invite others in. You don't need to change overnight. You just need to start. Each step builds the foundation for your next breakthrough. If you've come this far, you already have more insight and courage than most. But there's still more to unlock. In the final part, you'll discover Carl Jung's rarest secret, the art of creating psychological resonance, so your words echo in the minds of others long after you're done speaking. We'll also break down exactly how to handle doubters, critics, and those who just won't listen, so you can speak up anywhere, anytime, and truly be heard. Get ready. The power to change every conversation is closer than you think. You've learned about presence, authenticity, listening, and the power of story. Now it's time for the final piece, what Carl Jung would call psychological resonance, the rare skill of making your words echo in someone's mind long after you've finished speaking. Jung believed that truly unforgettable communication doesn't just reach the logical mind. It speaks to the deeper, unconscious self. How? By using images, emotion, and archetypes, universal ideas and stories we all recognize deep down. Example: instead of saying, "Change is hard," you say, "Every winter eventually melts into spring." It's visual, emotional, and speaks to something ancient in us. Practical step. Whenever you want to make a point, ask, what image captures this idea? What story or metaphor brings it to life? People forget at facts. They remember feelings and pictures. Handling doubters and critics. You'll meet people who resist your message, interrupt, or don't want to listen. Jung would remind you, don't fight to win. Invite curiosity instead. Ask open-ended questions. What's your take? Or, how would you approach this? Use I statements, in my experience, instead of you're wrong because. Stay calm. Your presence is more powerful than argument. By making it a conversation, not a battle, you open minds. Anchor your message with a clear call. If you want your words to last, end every important conversation with one clear takeaway. Summarize in a single, sticky sentence. Example: if you remember nothing else, remember this. People don't listen to perfect voices, they listen to honest ones. The courage to be heard. Most people never use their true voice. They play small to avoid risk or rejection. Jung believed your authentic voice is the door to your true self and the only way to be genuinely heard. So, speak honestly, even if your voice shakes. Share what matters most, not just what's safe. Trust that your story, in your words, is enough. Final challenge. Right now, think of one conversation where you want to be truly heard. Plan to use presence, authenticity, a story or image, and a clear takeaway. Then, go speak. You'll be surprised how much changes. If this video gave you even one breakthrough, comment below with your favorite insight. And subscribe for more psychology that actually changes lives. Your voice matters. Use it.